Okay, good afternoon. So for today's topic, we're going to talk about telephone etiquette. No, so we have learned last meeting that telephone etiquette is actually part or method of delivery, customer service delivery. No, so we've learned that customer service could be in the form of written letters or business correspondence, wherein you're going to uh, handle customers' concern through written documents. And then another, which is also a very common customer service delivery, is face to face. No? And of course, lastly, the telephone or answering phone calls. So, in answering phone calls, you need to consider proper etiquettes, no, or uh, how proper handling of phone calls. Okay, so you in answering phone calls, there are actually things that you need to be, I mean, there are etiquettes or things that we need to consider. Okay, so telephone etiquette is an integral part of customer service, and it has a very significant role in the company's success that will go the extra mile to assure 100% customer satisfaction and service fulfillment. So when you say etiquette, it is actually a code of behavior that delineates expectations for social behavior according to contemporary conventional norms within a society, social class, or group. So telephone etiquette refers to a set of rules that apply when people make calls to others or when they are receiving a phone call. So in other words, there are actually rules in answering phone calls, no? And that is what we call the telephone etiquette. So what are the importance of telephone etiquette? So the telephone is one of the tools used in business. Okay. So in other words, you use telephone if you wanted to inquire to other suppliers, or probably your customers calling you for and asking for certain informations about your service or products. So it's actually a tool, no, in doing business. Okay, the telephone is our link to the outside world. So if you're in an office, confined in your four walled offices, then the telephone is your link to the outside world, meaning to people, no, outside your business or organization. Like for example, if you are working globally, then uh, you use telephone in order to communicate with your global counterparts. Or if you're a manufacturer and all your suppliers are from abroad, then you use telephone. But however, most of the time, for practical reason, another form of communication is cheaper and of course fast, no, through the use of emails. However, still telephone is still usable, I mean, being used, no, with regards to doing business outside your offices. Okay, and then customers first experience with an organization is usually by phone. Why? Because for example, if you're trying to ask or inquire about something or the products or services a company are offering, you don't go directly, to the customer, I mean to the establishment, but the first thing a customer would do is to call and inquire about that particular product or services. Okay, so that is your first experience with customers, okay, through phone. So telephone etiquette offers a way for employees to function politely together in a community, eliminating frustrations and communication mishaps. So in answering phone calls, you must be polite, no? Whether, especially the caller cannot see you, so they cannot see you, your nonverbal communication. So it would really all depend on the tone of how you are the manner of how you answer the phone calls, no, the inquiry. So again, as part of the rules in answering phone calls, then you should answer it politely. Okay. So what are the general rules when you're on the phone? You should be polite, meaning you choose your words carefully and use proper intonation. Okay, so don't be angry. Don't sound uh, frustrated or what, no? So again, be polite when you answer phone calls. And then you must be prepared. So have all the relevant details or informations that you need to have in cases there will be questions, especially if your job entails a lot of giving information about the products or services, no? So you must be prepared at all times. Okay? Since as we've learned in the customer service discussion last meeting, uh, out of the 11 impressions that the customers will be looking at will be the knowledge, no, of the employees or the service providers. Okay, so in order to show to them that you are knowledgeable on your products and services, then you must be prepared, no? And then you should be concise. So don't beat around the bush. Uh, Answer phone calls direct. I mean, in a direct manner, wherein you answer what their inquiries are, and then if again, be honest. No, if you don't know the answer, don't tell a lie, but express it in a manner that would not give a negative impact. No, okay. So answer directly on the customer's inquiry. And then you must also be considerate. Don't waste people's time on small talk, especially if it's a long distance call, no? Or the caller is using his or her cell phone to inquire about your services. So you should consider, do not make unnecessary topics. Okay, and then you must be helpful. So give the information needed. But if you cannot help, find someone who can, or tell the caller you will call back with the information. Again, this is very important, no? If you don't know the answer, and then if you need to find out first what's the answer of the question or the inquiry of your customer, and if you promise to call back, then be sure to call back, no? Since the customer will be waiting on your call. Okay, so if you say so, if you promise to them, then they will expect that you will call. Now, another thing in making a promise, uh, do not exaggerate, no, or do not overpromise. It's better if, like for example, if you tell the customers that you're going to call after an hour, then in actual you call back the customer in 30 minutes. So again, that would give a positive impression, no? Because you 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 exceed what you have promised, no? So what's the purpose of calling? So phone calls are made for different reasons, no? First is to inquire about something or someone. So if they wanted an information, no? And then to request for something or a certain information, to inform someone about a certain news, to make appointments, to confirm or cancel appointments, to extend invitations, and other things why people call, no? Okay, so again, they call because they have something to, or there's a purpose of why they call, no? And again, you need to address that purpose, why they called, no? So the telephone and you. So provide helpful hints and proven techniques. Part of doing business means doing business over the phone. Phone is an important instrument in daily business. Again, it's your link to the outside world. So it's the method on how on in communicating with others, no, with other with your stakeholders, with clients, customers, suppliers. So this is the telephone is a very important instrument in doing business. Okay. So what are the ways to sound as good as you really are? So when you answer phone calls, you should be alert, no? Show that you are wide awake, ready to engage in conversation. Okay? So even you are already sleepy, but when you before you answer phone calls, you try to 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 change your the mental alert. You should be alert, no? So again, let the callers feel that you are ready to answer his questions or inquiry. And then you must be pleasant, so put a smile in your voice because they can really hear it, no? And then naturalness, use simple straightforward language, avoid technical terms or slang. Distinctiveness, speaks directly into the phone, use a normal tone of voice. The louder you are, the louder everyone else becomes. Okay. And expressiveness, talk at a moderate rate and volume but vary your voice tone. So these are tangible things, no, that a caller will be observing or taking note if they call to inquire or to ask for information. So they would really feel that the one who answers are very eager to help and to extend their services. Okay, so they really can feel it. Okay. So what are the don'ts when you answer phone calls? Of course, do not frown, do not mutter, sound tired, speak in a shrill voice, speak negatively, and rumble. So all of these things are negative behaviors, no? And even they cannot see you that you're frowning, but the callers will feel it, no? Because of the voice, no? The impact of your voice to them. Okay? And what are the do's? You need to smile because they really can hear it. So that is why sometimes you'll say that the voice is very pleasant to listen to because the one who answers is actually smiling, no? And you really can feel it. Then speak clearly and concisely. Be enthusiastic. Lower the pitch of your voice. Talk in a positive mode, and of course, listen or discuss. So those are the do's. Now, what about keys to good listening? So again, when you answer phone calls, you need to listen first on the customer or the caller's inquiry or the purpose of why he or she called. So you must limit your talking, no? You cannot talk and listen at the same time. Okay? And then do not interrupt. A pause doesn't always mean that the individual is already done speaking, no? Okay, so do not assume that the caller pause, it's the end, no, of his call. Okay, so probably the caller is still thinking or doing something, no? And then concentrate. So focus on the conversation, practice shutting out outside distractions and personal concern. Especially if the one who's calling is giving important details, like for example, if he's calling uh, to give or to relay information for your boss or your superior, then you must focus, concentrate on those important details the caller is dictating, no? So it's better if you take notes, those important details, so you will not forget. Okay? And then take notes, so helps you remember important points. Listen for ideas, not just words. So get the whole picture, not isolated bits and pieces, no? Okay, so in other words, try to really know the purpose, no? Or the information being relayed by the caller. And interjections. So an occasional yes, I see, etc. shows that you're listening. So however, don't overuse them. Okay, especially if the caller is very talkative, no? So try to respond to the call, while he's talking, like by saying those things, not like yes, I see, etc. So it's a matter of acknowledging, no, that, and telling the caller that you're still there listening to him or to the call. Okay. Now, when answering phone calls, you need to create a good impression. So try to answer the phone on the second ring. Answer with a friendly greeting. Smile, it shows even through the phone. And ask the caller their name, even if their name is not necessary for the call, and use it. Okay? Keep the phone 2 finger widths from your mouth. Uh, to for the caller to hear you, no, because if it's too near to the mouthpiece, it will create something, I mean, unlike unlikely sound, no. Again, so when your phone rings, try to answer on the second ring. Do not uh, let even you've heard already the phone is ringing, then you answer immediately, no, because again it would create an impression that you are really there, you are present and alert and ready to answer questions, no. And of course, always be courteous, answer with friendly greetings. Okay. So when welcoming callers, this will at least give an example, no, or a guide on how you answer or how you welcome callers. So when answering an office phone, welcome callers by introducing yourself and your organization. Like for instance, thank you for calling Happy Enterprise. Sheila speaking. How may I help you? If you're answering a personal cell phone, a simple "Good morning, this is Sheila" is appropriate. But again, if you're answering in an office phone, you must be professional, no, and of course follow the proper etiquette. So that this is an example on how you welcome callers. So introduce the company, mention the company's name and yourself, your name, and how you could help the caller. Now, what about putting callers on hold? So before you put the caller on hold, you must ask for permission, and of course, for the caller to be aware that is being put on hold. No. So, like for example, you could say, "Would you please hold while I get your file?" Or "Can you please hold briefly while I see Mr. Jones is available?" So again, this is how you ask, or you inform, huh? By asking permission to the caller before you put the caller on hold. And again, when you reach back to him, so always thank the caller for holding. Now, what about transferring a caller? No, so always transfer the caller to the desired person's extension, not to the operator. So this one is very common, no, especially if the one who answered doesn't know what the local number is. That is why it is very important that you know anything, especially, no, the area, the different areas in your company, the local numbers or the contact numbers. So you must be prepared and have those information at hand. Okay. So again, do not transfer the caller to the operator, but the extension, whatever office the caller wanted to contact. No. So limit number of transfer saves the caller time from explaining issue again. Okay, so another disadvantage if you transfer the caller to an operator or incorrect, or the other areas. So the caller will be what? Will be angry, or he will be um, feel anxious or whatever feeling that would feel, especially if his call will be kept transferred to wrong areas, no? So, and of course it would uh, limit uh, explaining again and again, no, or telling the one who answered what really is what information that he needs, no. So tell the caller who you are transferring them to. So in other words, before you transfer a phone call, you tell them, or you tell the caller, for example, is if the caller is asking for an employee in your accounting department, or probably is asking about the price of a particular product, then you inform the caller that you are going to transfer him to this particular area where his calls or inquiry can be answered, no? And announce the caller to the person you are transferring. So before you transfer the phone call, inform first whoever received your call that in the other line, someone is asking about this particular information. So at least uh, when you transfer the call, the caller need not to repeat again, no, whatever information that you wanted to ask, because the receiver to whom you answer, I mean, you transfer the phone call already knows because you initially mentioned it to him, no? Okay, before you transfer the call. Okay, so that's the rules in transferring a caller. Now, what about taking phone messages? So when you take note, I mean, when you take phone messages, you should always include the caller's name and the company name, and the time and date of call, what the call is regarding, if possible, no? And if a follow-up or return call is needed, and of course the phone number or office or home, no, of the caller. Okay, so that if uh, like for example, if the phone message is for your boss or for your colleague, then all those informations you've noted, you can give it to your colleague so that he can call back. He can call back, no? Now, what about leaving a voice message? The phone message should always include the following. So your name and the company name, type and date of call, what the call is regarding, or what the call is about. And if a follow-up or return call is needed, so you need also to mention in the voice message, and of course the phone number. So speak slowly, even repeat the phone number, and of course include the area code if you are calling outside the area, no? So that's the proper rules in leaving a voice message. Okay, now for last impressions before ending the call, always make sure you answered all the caller's questions. Okay, so again, before ending the call, you ask first, is there anything you can help the caller or assist with? And then always end with pleasantry, like saying, have a nice day, it was nice speaking to you. And of course, let the caller hang up. Sorry for the misspelled word. Let the caller hang up first. Okay, so wait when the callers hang up before you hang up. Okay, so that ends our topic today. Again, I would like to emphasize that another skills an office worker must have is an excellent customer service, which is you need to uh, know how to handle complaints, and then do not consider complaints as a negative thing, but instead consider it as an opportunity to retain those clients, no? And of course build a long relationship with them. Okay, and again, in order to have an excellent customer service skills, you must know how to handle complaints well, no? So again, always remember those things a customers wanted if they are angry or they have complaints. Okay, so most customers wanted a prompt action, no? And they wanted to be listened to, and of course they wanted to be treated as an important person. And of course, customers are always customers. They give profit, revenue to the businesses of our company. So we need to really take good care of our customers, okay? So that they will not go to other uh, companies who are our competitors, okay? And of course, another, aside from the face-to-face customer service, another important thing that we all need to remember as we work, as you start working in the future, no? When I mean how to answer telephone calls properly. So there are what we call telephone etiquette, no? So the proper ways on how we answer phone calls, how we transfer or to take phone messages. Okay, so again, uh, always remember these skills, no? Since this will really help you as a student be prepared to work in the future. Since all of most employees will really do all these things, no? They answer phone calls, they entertain customers. So this will guide you on how to handle customers in the future. Okay, so that's all for today. And again, if you have questions, please uh, PM me or message me directly to our group chat, or you may send your questions to our class middle. But again, if you wanted an immediate answer to your questions, then you can PM me directly, no? So I will just I will answer your questions by sending through our group chat and audio clips. Okay, so since it's easier and faster than typing my answer through chat. Okay, so that ends our topic today. So enjoy your the rest of the day and have a nice day.